We're rolling into week 7. It's time to rank the running backs for this week. We're going to use advanced analytics. We're going to be looking at the matchups, and this is going to help you set your lineups. And we're trying to be early for those Thursday games. And then on top of that, you have this to look at for the rest of the week. Before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now, because we're going deeper on the waiver wire than anybody else on YouTube, any other channel out there. For the deeper leagues, normal-sized leagues, shallow leagues, everything is covered off the waiver wire. We're doing deep dives on all the trending players, as many as possible throughout the day. And then we're also helping you set your lineups, not just player rankings, but looking at every single game this year. Every single game on the slate, we cover every single player that is relative to fantasy for those matchups. Free resource here, giving you data that's hard to find because we pay for it and we share it. Click that button. Stop missing out. Ric Flair's watching. You do not want to disappoint Ric Flair. Our number one running back off the board going into week 7 is Jahmyr Gibbs. And who's benching Jahmyr Gibbs anyways? That's one thing about it. We got Tampa Bay. They're a little bit banged up at wide receiver. Well, they're a lot banged up at wide receiver. They're always in matchups where there's good back and forth. Gibbs is used in the passing game. We're also coming off that down game against the Chiefs. But outside of that, we've been steady. So we're just due to keep hitting. We're just due. There's no way there's a fall off happening here for Jahmyr Gibbs. He has to get banged up for that to happen. They're also allowing all the running backs to get to the fairway, considering his work rate, usage, explosiveness, considering that the Bucs allow good back and forth in their matchups. This should be a good matchup for him. Bijan Robinson at number 2 here against the 49ers. They're allowing almost all the running backs to get to the fairway. That Arizona game was very interesting there. But you're looking at what they're allowing. Rachaad White, 17.6. Kyren, 33.1. Etienne, 19.5. Kamara, 18. Charbonnet, 10. I think Bijan's going to be good to go. And you're not benching him anyways. The workload's going to be there one way or the other. So fairway at minimum. And he's always been blasting past that or just blasting deep into the fairway when you're looking at week 3 and week 2. So, of course, you're not benching Bijan at 3. Jonathan Taylor, liking him this week. I think this is going to be a matchup that could be back and forth a little bit. I think this is a matchup when you look at the numbers here and what the Chargers did starting off the season, that could get you a little bit scared, but they've been bending and breaking ever since then, since week 3. I'm looking at this matchup being very good for Jonathan Taylor and being very advantageous considering he has hit every single week this year. At 4, Christian McCaffrey. It does not matter how the game script goes. There is a little bit of risk against the Falcons here, considering how they held James Cook in check. But you're not benching Christian McCaffrey. He's also almost more of a wide receiver than he is a running back right now anyways. That's how he's getting his yards. That's where he's more efficient right now. He only has 1 game on the season with over 4 yards per carry. So what? They shut him down below 4 yards per carry in this game because he's been shut down to that in every single game but one this season. At 5, Quinshon Judkins. This is a matchup where he could eat. This is a defense that's given up fantasy points to running backs in droves, and you're looking at the rushing attempts here for Quinshon Judkins. He's usually getting more than 12, and he should be getting volume here. Stefanski's trying to save his job. He knows Gabriel ain't the catalyst for that. He's going to ride Quinshon Judkins. Whoever loses this game is getting fired. The coach who loses this game is getting fired, so they're going to make some drastic calls. At 6, Josh Jacobs. He's safe when it comes to workload. He's safe when it comes to fantasy production. He's just not sexy. The Packers push the pace. The Cardinals are about to roll over. But they can push a game script, though, with Brissett. But when you're looking at this, Josh Jacobs, just safe back here, getting touches, getting opportunity against a team that's about league average when it comes to allowing fantasy points to running backs and allowing running backs to hit the fairway every single game, if not worse. 7's Rico Dowdle. I understand Chuba could be back. If Chuba's back and we're hearing it's more of a 50-50, 60-40 split, then I'm going to dial him back a bit. But I don't have that information. I'm going to keep him up. It's against the Jets here. They're rolling over. There's rumors that they might be trading for Shedeur or trying to or calling or whatever. This team's rolling over. A rolled over team's going to give up more, and they've been giving up fantasy points to running backs. Outside of week 6, they have been giving fantasy points to running backs. They have been bending. They should, at minimal, bend to the starting running back to the Panthers, the running back that gets the most touches. Right now, Rico is the hottest hand in the league. At 8, Achane. And we're looking at this. We got the Browns matchup. And the Browns are rolling over here. They are done. You're hearing Myles Garrett in the media and blaming the offense pretty much. Not saying it directly, but blaming the offense. You're seeing him go to Dylan Gabriel. Can't throw it more than 5 yards. Devin Achane does not matter the matchup because you can use him in the passing game. I got him at 8. Any other matchup, he'd be a lot higher than that. So I am recognizing the Browns defense. The Browns defense will allow running backs to hit the fairway and not get blown up. So he should be good for the fairway. You're not benching him anyways. 9, Saquon Barkley. You're not benching him anyways. At this matchup, there is some good opportunity here. They'll allow running backs to hit the fairway. The Vikings are hurt at quarterback. McCarthy's probably going to be back in. McCarthy's inexperienced. It's also the Phillies defense. However, you're looking at Saquon. We whiffed last week. We whiffed in week 3. Seems like we whiff every so often this year. Our touches, our workload, everything else is off compared to last year. We're not the same Saquon compared to last year, but we're still Saquon. We're still getting work in the passing game. We're still getting a lot of opportunity. This is a matchup where Philly's trying to get right after getting embarrassed by the Giants at 10, Rachaad White. This is a matchup with good back and forth to it. This is a very good matchup. This is a game I'm leaning into. I'm starting everybody from this game. Well, Bucks wide receivers, I'm going to mess around with and think about. But I'm starting everybody else that makes sense in this game. On the road against Detroit, Baker Mayfield's going to push the pace here. They're allowing the running backs to get to the fairway. Rachaad White, considering his work in the passing game, considering they're down at wide receiver, should see extra targets, should be out there getting workload. I expect him to at least get you to the fairway, even if he's not efficient running the ball. At 11, Ashton Jeanty. I expect him to get volume. I expect this to be a tricky matchup. I'm looking at the Chiefs here. They are a gamble. They'll allow teams to bend it wide open with the running backs, but they'll also shut them down. And now they're on a good run, shutting down good running backs. Travis Etienne, Gibbs, David Montgomery, technically 3 in the last 2 games. They had a rough patch there, but against some rough, weird game scripts as well. Philly, Giants, Baltimore, and the running backs had to be used differently. I expect Jeanty to get a little bit extra work in the passing game. He seems ranked kind of high, but once you get outside the top 20, 25 of the rankings, you're going to see why, because these running backs get hard off really quick. 12, Javonte Williams. I have him down a little bit against Washington. Washington will bend the running backs and break the running backs. I just have him down a little bit compared to my previous rankings, but I'm ahead of Fantasy Pros. I'm ahead of a bunch of other sites. I think the volume's going to be there. I think Washington's going to be a tricky matchup for the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys will create a tricky matchup for Washington. I think this is going to be a fun game to watch. You may want to lean into this one a little bit due to it being Dallas, but I would also lean into some of the ancillary players. We'll deep dive this matchup more, but Javonte Williams going to get workload. Should be okay for RB1 status this week because that's where I got him ranked at 13. Cam Skattebo. He could push RB1 status in a suboptimal game script. He's done it before. He'll get work in the passing game, and I'm not going to really bet against him from hitting the fairway. I think he's just going to be hitting the fairway. I call him Goblin Christian McCaffrey because he looks like a goblin, and he gets played like Christian McCaffrey. You look at the targets here, 8.272, and he's getting the workload like it. And technically, he's getting the yards per carry like it right now. Goblin Christian McCaffrey right now for the Giants. Skattebo at 13. I'm high on him. I'm high on him due to the volume and opportunities in his offense. In this offense, you can't project. You just got to vibe it. At 14, Jacory Croskey-Merritt. Had the fumbles. I do not know if that's going to impact his snap rate coming in against Dallas. Dallas gives up a lot of points to running backs. If it wasn't for that, I'd have him ranked higher. I would start him in a lot of my matchups due to it being Dallas, but I have to understand the risk that he could get fucked with in this game. At 15, Kyren Williams. I think he's good for good workload and opportunities in this matchup. I think this is a matchup that could hold him down to just the fairway if we don't score a touchdown, where he's scoring 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16-ish points in that range instead of like the 20, 25, 30 range of points. But if this team can move the football, if they can get in the red zone, they punch it in with Kyren instead of Corum, then we could be all right to hit those big numbers. But this is a matchup that has risk of just getting fairway status. At 16, J.K. Dobbins. I feel like I'm low on him considering the matchup here, but I think it's just right considering the other running backs as well. I'm starting J.K. Dobbins. Like, I don't feel rough about it. I feel kind of okay. I don't feel like there's much risk here. You're looking at the Giants. They have held Kamara and Barkley in check recently. And this is a team that we noted in camp that front on the defensive side is nasty. And they're just figuring things out right now. Like, the Giants are just in their own world right now, and they're just figuring out their team right now. They got that fat coach energy. They got that Skattebo CTE. They got that Dart CTE. They're in their own world, drooling and everything. And it's starting to work a little bit. 17, Alvin, Kamara. On the road against the Bears. Like, I really like this matchup for Kamara. Like, the Saints can be very volatile with him. He's only hitting the fairway, so it's hard to really anoint him up the rankings. But I do like this matchup. If he has a big performance, it would be this game. This game would allow him to hit that with the flow of the Bears and what they're allowing the running backs. That's a good thing to see. They did shut down Washington, but before that, you're looking at Jeanty, Williams, Gibbs, Jones. Just getting it. 18, Travis Etienne. We got a matchup here that could be a head scratcher. The Rams lately have been giving up fantasy points to running backs. You're looking at Henry, though. That was him just getting a lot of poundage. A lot of poundage. And then we're looking at Christian McCaffrey. He's Christian McCaffrey. You look at Jonathan Taylor. He's kind of held in check there. Outside of that, this could be a dangerous matchup for Travis Etienne. I think he'll get you close to the fairway with volume, but it could look like week 5 and 6 as well. That's why I'm down. I'm still starting him. I'm still a little nervous about it. I ain't going to mess around. If you want to mess around, that's on you considering what I said. Allow that to soak in over these next few days. 19, Kimani Vidal. Here you go. You've been waiting for it. Upside against the Colts. They push the game script. He gets work in the passing game. I look for the Colts to push the pace here. Score. And that's going to be hard for Hassan Haskins. Haskins could get those red zone looks. That could allow him to be viable for fantasy. But for Vidal, this is a matchup where, like, if they were 50-50 and we didn't know, this is where I would lean on Vidal anyways, due to the Colts' ability to push the pace and keep the Chargers trying to push the pace to keep up with them. This should be a fun matchup. Lean into it. Lean into this matchup a lot. At 20, DeAndre Swift. And we're going up against the Saints. This is a great matchup. I feel like I'm low, but we're a fairway running back that just broke out. We should break out again. There's a chance for that, for him to break out. I think at minimal, like I said, again, week 6, just a few days ago, really, that he's going to easily hit the fairway due to his work in the passing game. We just need to break one loose and score that touchdown. We could do that. There's a chance for that, but I think we're safe for the fairway. I think we're a solid RB2 this week with RB1 upside. 21 is Breece Hall. Down on Breece Hall. This team's rolling over. He's kind of rolling over a little bit. We've only hit the fairway. We've never really busted loose here. We're either hitting the fairway or busting. So it's really hard to get excited with this. This is a good matchup here against Carolina, who's allowing every running back but one to hit the fairway. Oddly, Dallas couldn't do that. But we're looking at this, and we're looking at this offense. I can't really anoint him, even though the matchup's fine, because this team could roll over, and he hasn't proven that he can break it loose in fantasy production. At 22, Kenneth Walker. I have him low in the rankings. He has the speed and explosiveness to go off in any matchup. Any matchup. He's getting messed with touches. He's down there. He's flex, low RB2 range. And the reason why he's not lower, it's because once we get past this point, it's roughly the same. So you do what you want when you look at the matchups. The Houston matchup is rough. With it being rough, there's a chance that he breaks one outside or anything like that. If he gets space, he's good to go. He's a gamble. At 23, Chase Brown. Like I said, we're not trusting the Bengals. I trust Flacco a little bit more to keep things moving. He's getting work. He's getting opportunity. His snap rate is dipping. It is dropping. 23 is fair because the potential here with Flacco could boost this. I look at Chase Brown as being a guy that you throw in flex, you're gambling with, and you're scared of at 24. Jordan Mason. We got Philly. It's going to be an interesting matchup here for him. The quarterback plays the question, but I think he's going to get a lot of touches. He's easily going to hit double digits. I think we're going to be good for the fairway here. For him to break it loose, we got to score a touchdown. We got to get to the red zone. We got to move the ball in Philly. Can this offense do it? Yes, but can the quarterback play get you there? At 25, David Montgomery. He's David Montgomery. We should get good back and forth in this matchup here with Tampa Bay. I'm very excited about that. Tampa Bay is going to push the game script even with their wide receivers out. And David Montgomery in game scripts like that is a threat to punch it in the red zone. And plus, RB2, flex, whatever. Usually you know what you got here with David Montgomery. It's like an every other game type scenario where he either gives you nothing or blows up. At 26, Jaylen Warren. Honestly, we got a great matchup here. We don't trust the touches right now of Pittsburgh, but it's a great matchup to where you can just dice roll it. Same thing here at 27. Dice roll. You don't know how the touches are. This could be a Caleb Johnson game. This could be I can't project that because it's Arthur Smith. Arthur Smith just blows your head back sometimes. And we just got to have that scenario in there. At 28, Tony Pollard. He's just getting touches. Like, you know you're getting double-digit rushing attempts. You're throwing them in there, and you're hoping you hit the fairway. We are hitting the fairway in every game but 2. This could be a matchup that does it. It is the Titans, and Tajay Spears is there soaking up some of the touches. Snap rate has reduced. At 29, Woody Marks. Upside play. Upside play. Nick Chubb, if you want to throw him in there with this ranking, cool. Whatever you want to do if you're a Nick Chubb guy. I'm cool with either here. Because after this point, it's kind of like, it's backup running backs. You're hoping for touchdowns. He got 7 rushing attempts last week. We got Seattle. We're coming off a bye. I like rookies coming off byes. Rookies tend to get a little bit more opportunity. And finally, at 30, Bam Knight. I'm not really starting him. Like, if I'm hurting at flex, I'm probably looking at the wide receiver I got. And if you're bad at wide receiver and you're looking at Bam Knight, how are you going to win your matchups? How are you built? How are you built? Bam Knight, Michael Carter, just pick one, throw them in. They don't know what to do with the running backs. They don't know what to do with them. They're not efficient. They don't know. I can definitely say, like, when you're just looking at sheer attempts versus some of the other guys below him, more likely to get to double digits. Fairway, you just got to hope he hits that touchdown for fairway, let alone upside status. But I'm not chasing Cardinals running backs either. You may want to lean on those wide receivers there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I want to hear about that. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Well, thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.